Today I'll be discussing with you some of the higher mental function abnormalities, otherwise called neurocognitive disorders. So, according to DSM 5, that is Diagnostic and Statistical Manual 5, we divide the cognition into the following domains. They are: one is complex attention, second is executive functions, third learning and memory, fourth language, fifth perceptual and motor, and finally the social cognition. So we will first discuss what are these cognition or what are these cognitive functions, and then discuss about the case. So first we go into what is meant by complex attention. Complex attention refers to the cognitive process of selective focusing on specific information or tasks and filtering out distractions. Driving a car needs complex attention. You need to simultaneously monitor the road, check your rear view mirrors, listen to the radio, and be aware of the speed limit. Focusing on all these aspects while driving requires complex attention. Hope the theme of complex attention is clear to you. Next, we will think about what is meant by executive function. This is a set of mental functions that enable individuals to plan, organize, initiate, and manage time, and switch between tasks, control your impulses, and adapt to changing circumstances. So this is essentially a goal-directed behavior, and you are making some decision. Typical example is a student planning to have a study schedule. So you break down tasks into manageable parts, setting priorities, and resisting the urge to procrastinate. So executive function is a goal-directed decision. That is, you have got a certain goal, you divide them into subunits and execute it, and that is the executive function. Then third is the learning and memory. Learning and memory are interrelated. So you learn or acquire new information or skills. So that is the learning. So learning a textbook, learning to do some procedures, learning to examine a patient, all these are parts of learning. So it is either learning in acquiring information or learning some skills. And what is memory? Memory is the process of storing and retrieving the information when required. And as mentioned, they are closely interrelated. Typical example is when you are going to write an examination. You have studied, that is memory. That is the learning, and you retrieve it during examination or recall it. That is the. So it has got different parts. Memory can be divided into immediate memory, recent memory, and remote memory that we will discuss during following the subsequent sessions. Now we look into what is language. Language is a system for communication. It uses symbols, words, it has got some grammar and meaning. So it encompasses spoken, written, sign language, and it is fundamental for communication. So language uses spoken things, written things, and signs. So all this comes under language. So language functions are important for communication. As mentioned, it is a system of communication that uses symbols, words, and grammar with meaning or to convey some meaning. Hope this point is, and we will discuss disorders of language, that is aphasia, in subsequent session. Perceptual motor skills involve coordination, of sensations that you have perceived, coordination of sensory perception. What are the sensory perceptions? It can be visual, auditory, and tactile. And you coordinate with this with motor skills, that is movement and coordination. So there is a perceptual motor interaction. So typical example, when you are seeing a snake, what will you do? You will run away. So the perception is the snake, is seeing the snake, and there is a mental processing. You want to do something and you execute it by a motor movement, that is the perceptual motor. Another example is, you can see here a boy is playing piano. So playing a musical instrument such as piano requires perceptual motor skills. You should read the music, that is perception. The process it mentally and coordinate your fingers to correct the keys. So that's a motor skill, and that produces the desired sound. That is the perceptual motor. Now we come on to the next one, the social cognition. Social cognition is very important for communication. Here the cognitive process is going on to understand and interact with others. It encompasses skills such as empathy, theory of mind, that is able to read somebody's mind or thinking or thought process and feeling of others, and interpret the cues and norms. So for example, somebody is sad, upset over the exam result. By seeing the facial expression you can understand, or from the tone of voice you can understand. So you should respond with a tone with empathy, and so that social interactions are effective. So when a friend has failed in the examination and you have got very good marks, you should behave appropriately, such a way you should understand the other persons. And some people are unable to identify these social cues or facial expressions and read somebody's mind by these cues. So that can lead on to issues in the social interaction. So we have discussed the major elements of cognition. That is, number one is complex attention. Second, the perceptual motor. We have discussed about the social cognition, and any of the defects in these can lead on to neurocognitive disorders. And in addition, we have mentioned about the language, learning and memory. All these constitutes the major cognitive domains as per DSM.